I've made fun of a lot of people showing off their brand new flat top griddles, saying that they're just really a big frying pan. But as they gained in popularity, I started to wonder if I was the one missing out. So I went out and bought the 17-inch Weber Traveler griddle, so that way I could find out what the big deal was all about. And there are some things that I really like about flat tops, as well as some things that I don't. The first one is that you can cook a lot of things that you would have a hard time cooking on a regular grill. Mostly breakfast items like eggs and pancakes cook a lot better on a flat top griddle, as well as smash burgers and things like stir fry or fried rice. I've made all of those on this griddle. I've gotten around that by using a cast iron pan on my gas grill, which works okay, but it's really hard to regulate the heat, unlike it is on the flat top griddle. And yes, I've used the little griddle on my Weber Genesis, and that works pretty well too, but I've noticed that you do have to modify the grill slightly in order to be able to get the temperatures that I like to cook at with the lid open. And I love cooking outside, especially in the summer, because then you can keep all the heat as well as the mess and smells outside rather than inside of your house. And one of the things I've noticed is that Mrs. GTE, whenever she cooks pancakes, ends up using 2 or 3 burners and tries to keep them all at the right temperature to get the pancakes cooked just right. Ends up being kind of a pain. With a flat top griddle, you get a lot more real estate and only have to manage one. My first flat top griddle had a really rough surface, kind of like a cast iron pan, and you always had to get the oil and the heat just right to keep things from sticking. But they fixed that with the Weber Traveler because it has a really smooth carbon steel-like surface, and it's seasoned almost out of the box. It's really easy to keep it non-stick. But that is one of the drawbacks of a flat top griddle, is it takes a lot more maintenance. After every cook, you have to be really good about cleaning things off and then re-seasoning the grill so that way it's good for next time. But when you compare that to something like your gas grill, all you have to do is turn up the burners on high and then scrub down the surface with a grill brush or your favorite cleaning tool, and you're good to go, only needing to do a deep clean every once in a while. And this flat top cooks more evenly than, say, something on my stove does, as well as other portable griddles, and a big part of that is that big, thick flat top griddle. They have it reinforced that way you don't have to worry about it warping, and it transfers heat really, really well. And a big part of that comes from the burner design. You can tell that they've directed some of the flames in areas that would normally be cool spots, so you get a pretty even cooking temperature across the grilling surface. And this 17-inch griddle has a single burner, but if you go up to the 22-inch size, you can get one with 2 burners and have true 2-zone cooking to have half the griddle turned off or at different temperatures depending on what you want to cook. And they do say that both of these griddles are portable, but this one is the smaller one and it weighs 42 pounds, so it's a little bit of a pain to lug around. My other portable griddle had a grease cup on one side that worked okay, but often some of that grease would drip out and go on the side of the grill or onto the table that you were cooking on. Whereas this one has one that's completely integrated and hidden underneath, and it uses the standard tray that you'd use on a Weber Genesis or a BBQ and the other Weber products, so it's really easy to find one to swap it out. And when I say that it's hidden, it really is. I completely forgot about it, and when I went to go and grab it, I tipped the grill on one side and made a trail of grease going out of my garage out to my truck. Luckily, those aluminum tins are pretty inexpensive and easy to replace, and so I recommend doing that often so you don't end up like me. And while I really like the grease tray, my biggest disappointment with this griddle is with this lid. Now, after I bought it, I learned that this isn't a lid, which I thought you could close and cook things a little bit hotter, like melting the cheese or getting a little bit higher temperature for a sear or that kind of thing. But it says all over it that you have to keep this lid open because it's not a lid at all, it is a cover. Its only intent is to be able to keep the dust and all the things from falling on the grilling surface to keep it clean in between cooks, which is a really nice feature, but it wasn't what I thought it was when I bought it. And if you notice, this isn't my backyard. I'm at the reservoir camping, and I took this one because my kids wanted to cook a few things that doesn't easily go on a normal gas grill or a charcoal grill. Sure, I can make the hot dogs on it, but tomorrow we're making breakfast burritos, complete with tortillas, steak, and eggs, potatoes, and that just really goes a lot easier on a flat top grill. That said, we're also making s'mores. All I have to do is take off the grilling surface and then I can fire up the heat. We can have that campfire-like experience even though we're in the middle of a forest. We don't want to burn the place down. That keeps things a lot safer. So what's the biggest drawback for flat top griddles? Now, this one is going to make some people pretty mad, and that is if you can cook something on a gas grill or a charcoal grill, pretty much every case it's going to come off better on that. I'd much rather have a seared steak off of a charcoal grill than I would this one cooked in butter and oil on the flat top each and every time. And that's a personal preference, but I think it tastes better when you have that wood smoke and you get a little bit better sear. That said, I really do appreciate the utility that comes with a flat top griddle, and it's nice to have around.